that will start on January the 20th, 2021. That plan will be built on bedrock science. It will be constructed out of compassion, empathy, and concern. I will spare no effort, none, or any commitment to turn around this pandemic. Folks, I'm a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. I'll work as hard for those who didn't vote for me as those who did. Let this grim era of demonization in America begin to end here and now. The refusal of Democrats and Republicans to cooperate with one another, it's not some mysterious force beyond our control. It's a decision, a choice we make. And if we can decide not to cooperate, then we can decide to cooperate. And I believe that this is part of the mandate given to us from the American people. They want us to cooperate in their interest.
That is Joe Biden. Oh my God. Holy shit. Joe fucking Biden.
Alike to make that choice with me.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden, the elected, the president-elect, according to all of the fake news. Marcus Conte reporting. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. We'll take a look at it. Joe Biden gave a victory speech last night. A victory speech where it was very, very television. He brought together all of the people of this great nation. He's calling for the coming together and the walking away from the dark era of the orange monster. And he's going to make everything better again. That's what it seems like, right? That's so goddamn ridiculous, man. So we'll look at that. So that's the victory speech. Biden gave it last night at 8 p.m. It's now the next day, and Trump is on a rampage. Trump is tweeting high hell that he's going to challenge this, and it's everything is rigged, and it's fraud, and I guess the question is it going to work for Trump? Is Trump going to be able to turn this boat around, or has he pissed off the wrong people? Did he make a tactical error in believing that the people of America could carry him to victory? Did Trump make that tactical error? Was he wrong in saying that? Right? Or, listen to this. Caitlin Johnstone writes, there's zero chance of Trump challenging the election with any efficiency unless A, he really badly wants to remain president, and B, sufficiently large power structures want him to remain president. You see how that works? It is already clear that neither A nor B are the case. Right? Does he really want to be the president? I imagine he does. I'll take it. Trump's life is not going to be miserable if he's not the president anymore, if he gets booted out, right? If he has to, if he's out. I know people don't want to hear this at this point. You want to hear, let's fight to the bitter end. Now starts the fight. Yeah, I'm all with you on that. I'm just trying to be realistic, trying to stand in the middle of the fight. First of all, what are you fighting for? What has really Trump done for you? Think about it. For you personally, what has Trump done? Has Trump, you got a little tax break, and then your property taxes got tripled. All kinds of shit. Did he lock her up? No. Did he build a wall? No. Did he make America great again? Well, he presented America as something nice and something warm and something worth fighting for. Trump. And but essentially, did he deliver health care? No, he was still waving his finger right till the end that we're going to do something much better. But you were the president for 4 years. You didn't do anything. He said that we're going to, drain the swamp and correct the corruption and the obvious election fraud, right? Did he do anything about it? No, he waited to the last minute. He waited to the last minute until the deep state cheated him, and now he's crying foul. So what did Trump really do, right? So those are the types of things I want to talk about today. Truth and Politics says my income went up 70%. Well, good for you. That's nice. It's nice that your income went up. It's nice that you're doing well. But in a sense, you have to look at the entire country. A lot of people went off a cliff with Trump. And so anyway, Marcus Conte reporting. Let me make sure I don't hit the wrong buttons here. I got everything set up differently, so just bear with me. I don't know why. So I was reading from Caitlin Johnstone's piece. So let's watch a little bit of this. I know it's, this is, you want to see something? Before we do that, though, kindly become a Patreon of this channel. You go to marcusconte.com, and drop a few coins in the tip jar if you like this programming, if you want to see it continue. And also become a ongoing Patreon of this channel. We'll be back on the main channel. Looks like a few days. Hopefully the censorship will simmer down. Hopefully, or it's going to get worse. It might get even worse, right? You saw mainstream media yesterday censoring Trump's speech. Right? The president of the United States is speaking from the press desk. The press, the fucking press booth. And the press was actively censoring him, saying, "Oh, we're not gonna broadcast this nonsense anymore. There's no evidence. There's no proof." So the censorship could get worse. But for now, we'll just keep bouncing around. Hopefully, YouTube will simmer down. Hopefully, the COVID-19 stuff will go away. Right? Because there's no more reason to lock everything down. Now if the Democrats seize power, they want everything to go up. So kindly become a Patreon over there. And as if it couldn't get worse, here's your vice president-elect.
We did it, Joe. You're gonna be the next president of the United States. We did it, Joe. You're gonna be the next president of the United States. We did it, Joe. You're gonna be the next president of the United States.
Oh my God! All right, I gave it to you 3 times. Wow, man! Holy shit! What kind of times are we living in, man? This shit is getting fucking crazy, man. Crazy times, man. So the election was stolen from Trump, was it? So let's listen to a little bit of the Biden. Let's see if we can deal with this.
And it is now my great honor to introduce the President-elect of the United States of America.
Keep in mind, right, this is a very, who's doing this? This is ABC. Look how the cameras pan, that they're covering it like it's a sporting event now. Now Joe Biden is the shit, right? You watch the cameras pan to the black, the young person, the young white woman, everybody wearing masks. It's very Hollywood. It's very studio, if you will, right? A big studio, cars beeping, car horns beeping, Joe Biden slipping and sliding, stuttering.
America, Joe Biden.
And there he is, bounding onto the stage. Just a few weeks short of 78 years old, determined not to show it right now, feeling this moment. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., who will be the 46th President of the United States.
Don't go away yet. We're going to look at the statistics. I just want to look at current events. What Biden is saying. I know people don't want to watch fucking Joe Biden take an acceptance speech. But we'll look at the details. We'll look at some of what the punditry is saying. TYT, for example, or even H.A. Goodman had something nice to say. So just hang in there. We'll look at this, and then we'll listen. We'll look at some of Trump's challenges, Trump's tweets that he's challenging what he's going to do.
For these times, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris first brought together by Joe Biden's late son, Beau, who was Attorney General of Delaware. Kamala Harris served as Attorney General of California. They worked together. Had a warm relationship, tested during the campaign, and she went on the attack during the first debate, but they overcame that. And tonight, she celebrates being the first woman vice president-elect of the United States.
So if you're watching and you think that the whole thing is a fraud, just watch how deep the fraud is, right? Watch to the degree, to the extent to which I have the math right here. They're saying that Biden is winning 290 to 214. Do you believe it? Do you believe Joe Biden won the state of Pennsylvania by what looks like less than 1,000 points? Out of 3.3 million votes counted, do you believe it? I don't believe it. Do you believe that Georgia is hanging in the balance, leaning Biden by what is 200 votes? Do you believe that? With 2.4 million votes counted, do you believe that the difference in Georgia is 200 votes? I don't. Do you believe that Nevada swung for Biden? I don't. Do you believe that Michigan swung for Biden or Wisconsin? I do not. But that's besides the point. That is besides the point. Look, open your eyes and look at what America and the world is being told right now by the fake news. Joe Biden is claiming the presidency as we speak. And what the fuck is Trump going to do about it if all of the power structures line up against him? The mainstream media telling him, get your fucking fat orange ass out of office. You lost. That's where we are right now. Hold the conspiracy theories until we at least see what it's not conspiracy. They're theories because we don't have conclusive evidence that there was cheating. But just hold your fire, right? And I don't think Trump is going to roll over. I don't think Trump is just going to walk away. If you remember with Gore v. Bush, Gore was claiming victory for a month, longer. And then he ultimately got pushed aside. So, but those are the numbers. We're basing all of this is piled on top of AP and the fake news calling the election for Biden in the ways that I just told you. So as painful as it is, just let's watch the whole play out.
My fellow Americans and the people who brought me the dance, Delawareans.
You see the television?
My buddy.
You see how it keeps panning over? He's not saying anything important anyway. But you see how it keeps panning to the audience? Look, it's like Hollywood. It's like television. Oh, Biden.
And that former Governor Ruth Ann Minner. Most importantly, my sisters-in-law and my sister Valerie. Anyway. Folks, the people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory, a convincing victory, a victory for we the people. We've won with the most votes ever cast on a presidential ticket in the history of the nation. 74 million. What I must admit has surprised me tonight.
Now, if you think back when Obama did his talk, his acceptance speech, it was in Grant Park in Chicago. It was fucking packed, and it was real. That was a real victory. Obama really won the people and the establishment. I think Trump did to some degree. His acceptance speech was in a hotel in Manhattan late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning. A little different. This is kind of an acceptance speech in a parking lot, honking horns, no real crowd. It never pans to a giant crowd because there probably isn't a giant crowd. It's a set. Right?
We're seeing all over this nation, all cities and all parts of the country, indeed across the world, an outpouring of joy, of hope, renewed faith in tomorrow. Bring a better day.
Oh, look how happy they are.
And I'm humbled by the trust and confidence you've placed in me. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States. And work with all my heart, with the confidence of the whole people, to win the confidence of all of you. And for that is what America, I believe, is about. It's about people. And that's what our administration will be all about. I sought this office to restore the soul of America, to rebuild the backbone of this nation, the middle class, and to make America respected around the world again. And to unite us here at home. It's the honor of my lifetime that so many millions of Americans have voted for that vision. And now, the work of making that vision is real. It's a task, the task of our time.
Nothing but platitude, nothing substantial, nothing that says, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do for you. It's just platitude. We're leaving the dark age of Trump and heading to what? What? Trump, these guys work for the same people. They took the money from the same people, except Trump apparently pissed off the wrong people, probably with his view towards China, anti-Russia, whatever, or pro-Russia, anti-China, whatever the fuck. That doesn't even matter at this point. I think the oligarchs pretty much got what they wanted out of Trump. They wrung him out. You know, they got their big tax break, and they screwed the American people out of that money, right? And that's all Trump was useful for. He promised them tax cuts, and he got it. The corporations got it. The bankers got it. And now Trump was trying to institute antitrust laws, against big tech. For censorship, for example, going after the mainstream media for fake news, and they're fed up with them. They're tired of it, and now the oligarchs have decided that we will rig this election, and we will get rid of Trump, and we will replace him with this shit sandwich, dead guy, sleepy Joe Biden. Whether you like it or not. So you better swallow it, or what else you got, really?
Folks.
Are you going to get off your couch and protest? Are you going to get off your couch and protest, or are you just going to sit here on online and scream and yell and piss and moan and show how pissed off you are and how smart you are, how everything is rigged and we know it, and something's going to happen, and let's wait for the Supreme Court to decide, and the House of Representatives is going to decide, and Trump's going to win in court. They're becoming pipe dreams. You have to, when someone seizes power, when someone is in power, like Trump, who was the president of the United States, the time is when you're in power, not after the fact. All right? Bernie Sanders, for example, same thing. Right? He didn't have any power. He said, when I have power, this is what we'll do. It's like, no, you have to do it now. You've got to mobilize your troops now. And now was 3.5 years ago for Trump. Right? So did he drain the swamp? No, the swamp flexed its muscles. Did he break up the banks? The swamp. The swamp is not the fucking CIA and the FBI. The swamp is the money. It's the CEOs, of these large corporations, the banks, the deep money, the deep pocketed money from the billionaire class, the Rothschilds, the Soros, the Koch brothers, those guys, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. See how a guy like Bill Gates swings the whole narrative of COVID-19 in his favor to vaccinate everybody? That's who really won this election. That's who's deciding the election. It's not the people. And and are they gonna? They got what they wanted. Remember, just realize that the monopoly got what they wanted. They got a dumb, senile politician who is a yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, Mr. Gates. Right. He's going to bow a knee to the corporations that got him elected, not the people.
As I said many times before, I'm Jill's husband.
I'm a stone's throw from Scranton. I hope something. I hope Scranton Joe from Scranton, Pennsylvania, makes the fucking area boom because I just happen to be here. I used to live in New York City. Remember when I lived in New York City, man? That shit was crazy.
And I would not be here without her love.
Bob Ross makes a great point. Only cowards get captured and tortured. Remember that. Yes. Remember when Trump said that about John McCain? Wow. How can you forget, right? So people. I mean, that's that's the people opinion. Right? I would just emphasize to try to look past all of the people's opinions of Trump because they really don't matter. What really matters is the money. Right? It's the money deciding it. Yes, I agree. The people of this great nation elected Donald Trump president and reelected Donald Trump president by probably overwhelming numbers. Right? That's the fact, right? But that doesn't, as I've said for I don't know, 3 years now on this channel, since I started it after Bernie Sanders was cheated by Hillary Clinton and the establishment, that's when I said unequivocally that there is election fraud, that the Russia scam was fake. And here we are now. Instead of Trump going after the real Russiagate story, which was in the bowels of the DNC, March, April, May of 2016, when a young man in July got shot dead in Washington, D.C. as the alleged leaker, Seth Rich. And Russiagate was born in the bowels of the DNC, created by CrowdStrike. That's the story Trump should have told, right? But that in that case, he would have had to say that Bernie Sanders was correct, that Bernie Sanders was cheated, and this is how he was cheated. Instead, Trump said, Russiagate, I had nothing to do with it, no collusion, no, nothing. So Trump tried to play both sides of that coin, and he fell short. He lost a lot of people like me. I thought he was. I've always, perceived Trump as a liar, as a politician, as a guy who is a master, propagandist. Now he's not lying about everything. He's lying, for example, fake news, right? How the media is owned and controlled, and how they manipulate the narrative. He's very accurate in saying that. But what does he do about it? How does he? What actions did Trump take to stop it? Right? And he said for 8 years that Obama, they complained about no health care and fucked up health care and fucked up this and fucked up that. And Trump consistently and always said that Obama was in power for 8 years. He said it about Joe Biden. You guys were in power for 8 years, and what did you do? Why didn't you do anything? You've been a politician for 40 years. So the same rule applies to Trump. What did Trump do? And don't tell me that, the deep state is so powerful. No, I thought he switched out the deep state. According to most of you guys, or most of the the conspiracy-minded individuals saying that the deep state is the FBI, is the DOJ, is the CIA. To some degree it is. But the money, that's the people that pay those motherfuckers. Right? The people that buy off the politicians. It's the money. That, my friends, is the deep state. That is the deep state. Right? And Trump did very little or nothing. In fact, he gave him a pat on the back. He gave him trillions of dollars in tax relief on money they don't pay anyway. He knocked their tax down from 34% down to 20% corporate tax. And for what? They don't pay it anyway, right? All their monies are hidden in offshore accounts, just like Trump himself. Just like Trump himself was before the presidency. So I'm not making a case against Trump. I'm just saying that because we are here now and we are looking at this cracker right here, this idiot has now seized the presidency, not by himself, not propelled by the people, but propelled by the scumbags that run this country and run it into the ground, the profiteers, right? The corporations, the banks. Right? That's your deep state. Right?
And tireless support of Jill and my son Hunter and Ashley, my daughter, and all our grandchildren and their spouses and all our family.
So one of the talking points, cosmic singularity, is running with the idea that legal votes decide who is the president and not the media. I couldn't agree more. But what is legal? legal in one state is illegal in the other state, right? Legality is mutable in America. It's legal if we say it's legal, it's legal. If Mario Cuomo or Andrew Cuomo in New York says something is legal, he's the governor, it becomes legal. So that argument of Trump legal votes, counting legal votes, what are fucking legal votes? Right? And who's going to recount 70 million votes to sort it out? See, that's where we are right now. We don't have an accountable voting system. We don't know for sure what the vote count is because of the system, which should have been revamped years ago. But no president, no House of Representatives, no Senate has ever had the will to do it because they're not interested in you. They're not interested in the will of the people. They know what the will of the people is. They could poll people and find out exactly what people think. For example, 80% of the country thinks marijuana should be legal. Why isn't it legal across the country? Why is it not off the federal books already? Most people think a health care for all, affordable and or free, is a good thing. But why don't we have it? Because.
My heart. Jill's a mom, a military mom, an educator. And she has dedicated her life to education. But teaching isn't just what she does, it's who she is. For American educators, this is a great day for y'all.
So, folks,
you're going to have one of your own in the White House. And Jill's going to make it.
Oh, there's a shot. Let's see. A lot of cars. It's hard to tell how many people are in the audience. That's a nice wide angle, but you see all the lights? Look up here. You see all the Hollywood lights? They lit the thing up. It's a Hollywood set. It's probably a oversized parking lot with maybe, I would say probably 100 cars at best. Study the shot. 100 cars at best. Lights all around, like they got the cherry picker lights up. American flags swinging. Now they're American flags. Now they're patriots again. All of a sudden, what happened to yesterday? They're burning flags. Now they're fucking waving flags. See how the mainstream media flipped that shit on you, man? They flipped that shit. Trump is the bad guy. Trump is the villain. I say, oh no, Biden. No, he's for the people. He's America. You see the American flags. You see the lights. You see the red Chevrolet and the Ford.
Great First Lady. I'm so proud of her.
For the third time, Cinema Mini says, media don't decide the presidency. It's not over. I couldn't agree more. I'm just, here we are. You are here right now. And this is what we have to look at. And this is what we have to weed through. The power of the media, the power of the money structure behind Biden. Roll the tape back. I said it when they were announcing in the primary who was going to run. And in that New York Times article, you saw the sit-down was with Biden. I told you that Biden would be the candidate. And I told you that Biden could win because of the level of cheating. And here he is. Here we are now. Biden is the appointed one. All true, right?
I'll have the honor of serving with the fantastic vice president who you just heard from, Kamala Harris, who makes history as the first woman, first black woman, the first woman from South Asian descent, the first daughter of an immigrant ever elected in this country. Don't tell me it's not possible in the United States.
And to black babies.
It's long overdue. And we're reminded tonight of those who fought so hard for so many years.
All right, so I'll give you guys a break, man. Let's move on from this because it's a little painful to watch, right? So here's that's the electoral math right there, inescapably 290 to 214, and let's look at what Trump is saying. So here's the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, tweeting his ass off. Last tweet 16 hours ago. Let me refresh, make sure there's nothing else coming out. 21 minutes ago. Trump is awake. Trump is now awake. Breaking news. We believe these people are thieves. The big city machines are corrupt. This was a stolen election. This is the President of the United States tweeting 21 minutes ago. All right, so we're getting this live for you right now. We believe these people are thieves. The big city machines are corrupt. This was a stolen election. Best pollsters in Britain wrote this morning that this clearly was a stolen election. And it's impossible to imagine that Biden outran Obama in some of these states. This is the President of the United States, still the elected President of the United States saying it. Now, the other thing about Trump, if January 20th is a long way away, November, December, January, right? Biden will be the president-elect for 3 months, and Trump will technically be called a lame duck president, unless he can flip it. All right, so Trump is not going away anytime soon. You got another 90 days or more of Trump, right? And if it goes deep into if it's still undecided deep into January, I think the 14th Amendment. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the 14th Amendment kicks in, and then I believe the House of Representatives would decide. So this is Trump 21 minutes ago as well. Where it mattered, they stole what they had to steal. They stole what they had to steal. An hour ago, Trump tweets. We should look at the votes. We're just beginning the tabulation stage. We should look at all these allegations. We are seeing a number of affidavits that there has been voter fraud. Again, Trump using the wrong terminology. He's not coming clean. Right? It's election fraud. Election fraud. That's the establishment fucking you. Voter fraud is different. Voter fraud is too many people voted. That's not voter. That's not. Look, when ballots are sent to dead people and somehow they end up back and counted, that's election fraud. That's not voter fraud. When someone votes twice, that's voter fraud, but there's really no evidence that could swing millions of votes. It's just not the case. So Trump continuing to use the wrong terminology. Does Donald Trump not know the difference? Blame the people that stole it from you. Stop blaming the voters. Right. We should look at the votes. More an hour ago. We should look at these allegations. We're seeing a number of affidavits that there was voter fraud. We have a history in this country of election problems. In Pennsylvania, you had an order by how these ballots were authenticated, because if there's a problem in the system about authentication, that would seriously affect the entire election. And what concerns me is that we had over 100 million mail-in ballots in cities like Philadelphia. 100 million mail-in ballots in Philadelphia? Come on. Give the fucking facts. That if you don't want fake news to bash you, there's not 100 million mail-in ballots in Philadelphia. What's the population of Philadelphia? Population of Philadelphia. What is the population of Philadelphia? 1.5 million people. There's 1.5 million people in Philadelphia, and Trump is saying, what concerns me is that we had over 100 million mail-in ballot, over 100 million mail-in ballots, where's the S, in cities like Philadelphia. Do you believe Trump when he says that? Hundreds of millions? That would be, you know how fucking many, you know what $1 million looks like in small bills? It's huge. 100 million fucking ballots is truckloads of ballots. Not believable. Another hour ago, Trump writes, and Detroit, with a long series of election problems, to put it mildly. 71 million legal votes, the most ever for a sitting president, Trump says 16 hours ago. More from Trump, 16 hours ago. The observers were not allowed into the counting rooms. I had won the election. I won the election. Got 71 million legal votes. Bad things happened which our observers were not allowed to see. Never happened before. Millions of mail-in ballots were sent to people who never asked for them. Well, so what? So what? And now look at Twitter. This is interesting. I've never seen this before. Twitter is actually censoring. Official sources may not have called the race. When this was tweeted. So Trump, I won the election. Here's the disclaimer right here. This claim about election fraud is disputed. Right? They're putting a disclaimer under the President of the United States on Twitter. Right? I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen a disclaimer. Voter fraud of any kind is exceedingly rare in the U.S. election experts confirm. Yeah, voter fraud. You see how Twitter can skate around that? Because it's not election, it's not a voter fraud. I say it all the time because people forget. Right? The mainstream media can effectively say that. Voter fraud of any kind is exceedingly rare in the U.S. Election experts confirm. That is true. That is a true statement. But that's not what we're talking about. You're talking about apples when we're talking about oranges. Right? Voter fraud is very rare. Election fraud is the hallmark of American elections, is the backbone of American elections. How the establishment rigs the motherfucker against the people. I won the election by a lot, says Trump. Georgia County is using some software, same software as Michigan counties, also encountered glitches. So Trump is on he's on the tear. 23 hours ago, big press conference today in Philadelphia at the Four Seasons. Some or all of the content shared in this tweet is disputed and might be So look at this. This is Trump's tweet. You can't even read the fucking tweet. You have to read the disclaimer first. People were screaming, "Stop the count." And we demand transparency as legal observers were refused admission to the rooms. Right? You have to click a disclaimer to read Trump's fucking words. Unbelievable. Never seen it. Tens of thousands of votes were illegally received after 8 p.m. on Tuesday, election day. Totally and easily challenging the results in Pennsylvania and certain other razor-thin states. As a separate matter, hundreds of thousands of votes were illegally not allowed to be observed. All right, that's the President of the United States speaking. Look at all these tweets that he did. And there's a disclaimer. I've never seen anything like this. Some or all of the content shared in this tweet is disputed and might be misleading about an election or other civic process. Censoring the President of the United States. Amazing, right? This would also change the election results in numerous states, including Pennsylvania. Trump on the tear. It's far more interesting than listening to Biden fucking rant, right? Good morning, everybody in the chat. Mark Conte reporting. Good morning, Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Don't be a dick. Have your opinion, please. Please, we want your opinion. Don't be a dick, or you will get wrenched. Bob Ross is here. Andrew G. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Maniac Media. Thomas Robinson is here. Sassafras. Chappie Chappie, what's up, Chappie? Cinny Minnie, JB, Pathfinder 12, Lewis Sharp, Mike Fletcher. Lewis Sharp says not a good vibe this morning. No, it's a honest vibe. You tell me. I'm just leap years here. It's not a good vibe, but it's the vibe that we got to deal with. Look at if they think I'm down. Look at fucking Trump speaking. Trump is like he's dragging his tail. He's literally got his head down. That's not Trump. That's not the Trump the Trump tried and true. So we'll keep moving along. So here's let's look at some of the celebrations in my home, my former home of Washington Square Park. Check this out. This is pretty cool. So
今天纽约市大概是2020年。
It's I found this Chinese guy did this, so that's why the commentary is in Chinese, but not all of it.
这是什么呢？
So this is moments after the election was called for Biden. All of the young liberals packed into Washington Square Park. I estimate that crowd right there, probably not that big, maybe 5,000, 3,000, 5,000. Not a huge crowd for New York City for Washington Square Park, but that's about 3,000, 4,000. It's not tens and tens of thousands. It's a couple of thousand.
这个周末纽约天气相当的好哈。那今天是11月7号星期六中午左右的时间，美国主流
And again,
媒体正式宣布。
Again, just to address the comments, I'm not confirming by any means that Biden is president-elect, and I will follow the recount, of course, but I'm just telling you where we are right now. That's all I'm saying. There is cheating, yeah, I know that. Fucking roll the tape back, man. I'm the guy who told you there was cheating. Sorry.
也是年轻人聚集的地方，可以看到挤满的人潮。
Lots of people in Washington Square Park in New York City. Wow, sexy girls. Yes, man. People having a good time. They're out, they're drinking. They all have masks on. They all appear to be of the same age, young people. Looks like mostly white people, white, college age. See, I can still report on New York. I don't even have to be there. I know exactly what I'm looking at. I don't see any of my people because they're hiding in the background. But this is a lot of they took over the park. The fountain is still on. It's an indicator, definitely. It's an indicator. They think they scored a victory, right? They think they scored a victory for sure. Right? Here's some footage from Times Square. Not a large crowd. I don't think there's audio on this one. So here we are looking down at Times Square. Celebrates Biden victory. That's not even 200 people. Maybe 300, 400 people. A couple of hundred people in Times Square. That's not a lot. All right, so that's the first hour. Let's just click ahead and see if it gets more people. This is a 6-hour video of Times Square.
Writing's not
And
that
you gotta
easy,
watch a commercial.
but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
All right, so there's a couple of hundred people in Times Square. Not a big deal. Click ahead a little bit, another hour. Let's go 2 hours ahead. Still, it looks like the crowd is thinning. The crowd is actually thinning out in Times Square. Now it's not even. It doesn't even look like a crowd anymore. It looks like a regular day in Times Square for a change. Right? As the night rolls in, crowd not thickening. Right. So a couple of hundred people down, a couple of hundred people in Times Square. Maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 in Washington Square Park. I'll take that back. It's not 5,000. It's more like 2,000 or 3,000. Elizabeth Warren drew. Hey, look, now the road is open to traffic. So So no big deal. No, there's no, Andrew G says no Times Square, New Year's ball. No, they canceled that shit. They canceled everything in New York. New York sucks, man. So let's listen to H.A. Goodman for a second. This is kind of fun. Thank you, H.A. Goodman. Fair use.
Unfortunately, Democrats demand ironclad proof, absolute evidence of a grandiose plot before they can admit that they engage in cheating.
That's correct. Okay? That what H.A. Goodman just said, that the Democrats demand direct evidence. I'll just correct H.A. Goodman. They demand direct evidence of cheating. When how do you get direct evidence if a governor of the state, for example, in New York, controls the thing? He has power. He has influence. He is the establishment. How do you challenge the government, the governorships of these states? That's how you get direct evidence. And they're not going to give it to you because they want Trump out. But you have the overwhelming amounts of circumstantial evidence that add up to fraud. Exit polls not matching, for example.
Same thing took place with Bernie Sanders in 2016. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I was the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. All throughout 2016.
Say whatever you want about H.A. Goodman. H.A. Goodman understands what happened in 2016 probably better than anybody else, any pundit online. H.A. Goodman followed the 2016 scam like nobody else, right? He called it out at every step how Bernie Sanders was being cheated, and that the Russia collusion delusion was exactly that. Right? So H.A. Goodman knows what he's talking about. Of late, he's been saying that Hillary Clinton was going to win, was going to be appointed over Biden. But put that aside for a second, and just listen to how H.A. Goodman makes the case for election fraud in our country executed by the Democratic Party.
Before the DNC emails, all I heard from all the left-leaning, progressive, and Democratic Party journalists was the following. They said, well, where's the evidence? There's no evidence. Obviously, they're not cheating Bernie Sanders. No, they're not cheating Bernie Sanders. Then the DNC emails came out. Oh, my God. They had the freak out. They blamed Russia for 4 years. Zero evidence anyone conspired with Russia to hack the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace. Then they spent 4 years saying that they lost because of Russia and Facebook ads and the DNC emails. Putin hacked the DNC specifically to inform the country that Bernie was cheated. And then...
All right. How's that for a summation, right? H.A. Goodman just spits it out right off the top of his head. That is the fact, right? Now, if you watch H.A. Goodman because you like Trump, well, then you're getting the latter part of the story. But H.A. Goodman is a product of, as am I, a product of the corruption in the Democratic Party. Just like being so overwhelmed and so fed up with what we saw. It drove me to become a commentator, but certainly H.A. Goodman, was it caused him to become to abandon the Democratic Party and become a Trump tried and true, simply because he saw that the media was so corrupt, that the establishment was so corrupt, and that it was all this collusion between the Democratic Party and the multimedia and the corporations. Right? That's what H.A. Goodman represented at the time, and now he's telling you that there is cheating, of course.
And they still don't believe that he was cheated. Now you have statistical anomalies. It's impossible, based on early voting, for Democrats to have surged in Michigan and especially in Arizona and in Georgia and North Carolina. Georgia and Arizona Republicans outperformed Democrats in early voting. That's according to TargetSmart. So in Michigan, there was a slight disparity, and Democrats were slightly above. If TargetSmart is wrong, that's a different issue. But
Thomas Robinson says, Joe Biden AOC sex tape just leaked. Oh, man, I want to see that shit, man. In the chat, he says.
TargetSmart is a data analytics firm.
Send me a link, mate.
That was cited all throughout, like, the election with NBC News, all these people. So, according to their numbers, and a whole bunch of YouTubers and everyone looking at the election looked at TargetSmart saying, okay, Republicans are actually outperforming. There were articles written in Politico, in other publications saying, okay, Republicans are actually doing better.
Interesting discussion in the chat. Andrew G says, where's Alex Jones now? And Vinny DiMartini says, Jones will go back to being anti-government. Right. He'll flip. Right? Now he for all this time. See, that is such the point. Right? That's such the point that we should try to make here, is that guys like Alex Jones, guys like Trump, will call out corruption when it goes against them. But when the corruption is in their favor, then they love it. They embrace it. They wrap themselves in it. And that is just another shady, corrupt politician. That's not truthful. Truth is the truth is the truth. If I won and I was cheated, that my opponent was cheated. If we're having a foot race and someone, comes running out and sticks their foot out and trips my opponent and I win the race, did I really win the race? Will I accept that win knowing that my opponent got hoodwinked and kneecapped? Right? That's the point. Right? That the honest broker is who you want. The guy who's going to call out the honesty throughout. Is that Trump? No. Is it Joe Biden? Fucking hell no. We got nothing. We're still fucked. Right? The people are still fucked. Maybe someday a leader will come along and rise up. Maybe. I don't know, because now if the Democrats seize the White House, what chance do you have of an honest broker being, they're not going to primary Biden if he's even alive in 4 years. Who knows? If he dies in office and you get Kamala Harris is going to run. She's going to be the incumbent president, and there'll be no challenge from the Democrats for 8 years. Can the Republican Party put up a real candidate? Fucking hell no. Trump was an aberration. Trump was an anomaly, right? A statistical anomaly. Right? So you tell me where the surge of truth could come from, right? Could someone rise up in the Republican Party and rock it like Trump did? Well, there is a chance of that, but unless he's willing to compromise like Trump did and promise the corporations, billions and trillions of dollars in tax breaks and turn a blind eye to that sort of corruption, then how could someone possibly win? So that's H.A. Gibbon giving it an interesting spin, talking about the corruption. And one of my favorite writers, again, Caitlin Johnstone, says a couple of things. So let's read from here, and let me get some water before I do this. Beautiful day today in northeast Pennsylvania. Looks like it's going to be sunny, sunny and 70. Fucking love it, man. I love it. Conte escaped. I escaped from fucking New York City, man. So, the record turnout for Biden wasn't for Biden. It wasn't even really to stop Trump. Ultimately, though, most voters were unconscious of their true motive. It was to stop the mass media from shrieking hysterical bullshit in their faces all the time and making them feel crazy. Amen. Trump will leave office on June 20th, a sound refutation of the widespread narrative that he was a totalitarian dictator who presented an unprecedented threat to democracy. Caitlin Johnstone says he's out. The hysterical exaggerations of the threat Trump posed weren't destructive because they were unfair to Trump. They were destructive because they create the false impression that those who came before him and those who will come after him are not equally deprived. Wow, holy shit. What an insight, right? She's basically saying that the voters are duped. The people that voted for Biden, as are the people who voted for Trump and support Trump, are all duped if they don't see the greater structure. They don't understand the greater, the greater entity at play. It's the fucking money, man. It's the money. Right? You're at an auction, right? How about this? Here's an example. Right? You're at an auction, and kind of an analogy, right? And you're in the audience, and there's this beautiful car, and you love this car. Right? It's this old car. Or maybe let's make it better. Let's make it a sexy guitar, right? And you want to bid on this sexy guitar, right? It's worth like $25,000, right? It's a $25,000 guitar, and the guy next to you, and you guys, there's like 4 or 5 people bidding in the audience, and you just think that you're entitled to that guitar because it's a beautiful guitar, and I want that guitar, and I think because I'm a guitar player, I am the best person to have that guitar, right? But the guy next to you says, "Fuck you, I got the money," right? And you start to bid, and it goes $25,000. You say, "All right, I'll pay that because it's worth it." And the guy next to you says $26,000, and you're like, "What the fuck, man? What the fuck? It's not worth $26,000. I should get it for $25,000 because I bid $25,000." Right? And this motherfucker's bidding $26,000, and then somebody behind him says $27,000, and then somebody behind him says $28,000. And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" Right? And guess who wins? Who wins? The guy who deserves the guitar, or thinks he deserves the guitar, or the guy with the money? Who wins? Answer the question. Is the auctioneer responsible for saying, no, well, this guy, he bid first at $25,000, so let's give him the guitar, but and turn away from the guy who's bidding $28,000 or $29,000 or $30,000 or $50,000, right? It goes to the high bid. That's how your system works. That's how capitalism, for lack of a better term, works. And when there's only a few people with all the money and all the buying power, your chances of getting that guitar is fucking slim to none. Right? So keep that in mind. Right? Keep that in mind. There's zero chance of Trump challenging the election with any efficiency unless A, he really badly wants to remain president, and B, and I don't think he does. I don't think he's going to. I think that he'll try to run out the clock all the way to January. I don't think he's not going to. In the lame duck session, that's all you're going to hear about is voter fraud and election fraud, right? So does he really want to be president? Who knows? I don't know. I think he's going to have a great life even if he's not. He's going to have a wonderful life. He's going to go back to New York City. He's going to go, he's going to be in Mar-a-Lago every weekend. He's going to live the life of, a rock star. He's going to go right back to rock star status. He'll get his own TV network. So don't feel sorry for Trump. Feel sorry for yourself. Feel sorry for your country that Trump came in and tried to, did he really try to improve anything, or did he improve his own self? I don't know. But there's zero chance, according to this reporter, not this reporter, but that reporter, there's zero chance of Trump challenging the election with any efficiency unless A, he really badly wants to remain president, or B, sufficiently large power structures want him to remain president. Now stop right there. What large power structures want Trump to remain president? It's certainly not the Republican Party, certainly not the media, certainly not the banking industry, because they'll get more with Biden, right? Certainly not, the places like Venezuela or Syria or Iran or Iraq, right? Tell me where the power structures in the world and in our country are ready to bail out Trump. Because without it, if he just turns to the people, unless, of course, he turns to the people, but what do the people have to do? The people, and there's really no sign of this, there's no evidence that, very, very little evidence that people will get off their ass and fight. Because there's a lot of evidence on the other side There's a lot of evidence on the radical left side in terms of Antifa getting off their ass, marching in the streets, smashing windows, challenging the police. Lots of evidence of that. Lots of evidence of bringing the system to a screeching halt, challenging police brutality. But where's the evidence on the other side? Where is the evidence that, Family Guys, mom and pop, middle of America is going to rise up and defend Trump? Because I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking out my window, and I happen to be in middle America, and all I hear is horns beeping for Biden. I don't see any of the Trump people rising up. That's the evidence. That's indirect evidence that there will be no uprising. Aside from what we're doing right now, which is chatting online, which is good, but ultimately it's not going to do anything. So Caitlin Johnstone confirms he's out. The people who spent 4 years being wrong about Trump draining the swamp are now laboring under the delusion that he'd be willing and able to stop the entire swamp from stealing an election from him. He is not. Right? He is not capable of stopping the swamp. He didn't do it at first, and now he's certainly not going to be able to. It's a coup. They couped him. Right? It's a coup d'etat. Right? It's clear. Trump got hoodwinked, and there's not a fucking thing he can do about it. Right? I voted against fascism, they say. Right? No, you voted against what you perceived as a more dangerous order of fascism. That's fine, but don't lie to yourself about it. To pretend that a lifelong murderous authoritarian like Biden is fascism-free is to deceive yourself into future complacency. A dangerous faction of American extremists. So that's Caitlin Johnstone really spelling it out. It's really, that's good writing right there. I wish I could write. I wish I could write like that. Here's the TYT pigeon face talking as well. Listen to her.
As we know, Donald Trump seems to have no interest in conceding to the fact that he lost this election. Joe Biden has won. He is the president-elect. But according to Vanity Fair, and this is a literal headline by Bess Levin, Trump plans to barricade himself in the Oval Office and refuse to come out if Biden wins. He has told those closest to him that he refuses and will not concede. So
that's just Trump. That's just Trump flexing. I mean, you never know what Trump's going to do. He's broadcasting, "We're not leaving," and that's fine. Will he ultimately leave at gunpoint, or of course he will.
So Donald Trump is not reasonable and he has no dignity. So instead, he's decided he'll keep fighting this thing well beyond the point that it's hugely embarrassing to do so, writes Vanity Fair. And even after that fails, refuse to acknowledge that he lost and that Joe Biden is going to be president. Trump apparently thinks he can just go on being president, even if the American people have fired him. According to CNN, Trump reportedly has not prepared a concession speech. It's amazing. And in conversations with allies in recent days, he has said he has no intention of conceding the election. And in the meantime, the Trump campaign is playing all sorts of games in their attempt to steal this election. In fact, Zachary Cohen from CNN tweets the following, and bear with me as I read this thread. The GOP member of a vote review panel in Gwinnett, Georgia, repeatedly argued Friday that write-in ballots for Mike Pence as president should count for Donald Trump, the group's Democratic representative tells me.
All right, so there's TYT making up a lot of shit. Who knows if it's true or not? But you could see the slant that TYT loves the fact they hate Trump. They love the fact that they'll get a Democrat in there. They're schmoozy with the Democrats. If Bernie Sanders gets appointed to a cabinet seat, they figure Bernie Sanders will come on the show. Elizabeth Warren will come on the show. TYT stands to gain from this. So you see how profiteering, how because TYT is a corporation now, and they took $20 million back in 2017, and now they're living large. They want the support. Cenk Uygur, Mr. Potato Head. He likes the fact that Trump lost, and that because of his own interests, not the interests of the people, but his own interests. He sees the chance to now become, the equivalent of the mainstream media. I don't think that. I think that that's a overstatement and over speculation on TYT. I think if Bernie Sanders if TYT would have assisted Bernie Sanders in becoming president in 2016, which they really were campaigning for him and really wanted him to become president, I think that that would have been a different story for TYT. But I think TYT just kind of falls by the wayside to some degree, right? But they're gonna not fall by the wayside, but become a second fiddle to mainstream media, if not becoming mainstream media of their own. Right? So anyway, Marcus Conte reporting. Woo! What a day! What a day! What a topic! What a time! What a time in history to be in. I respect the comments. I know people are up in arms. I'm just from the comments, I'm sensing that people want me to be more angry, more focused on the corruption, more focused on the swindle, more focused on the count in Pennsylvania. I'm going to elect to not go down every single rabbit hole this time. Are those rabbit holes legitimate? Of course they are. But in every rabbit hole that you're going to go down, you're going to whack your head on the establishment down that hole. And you're going to end up with a governor who's just going to go like this to you. Yeah? Fuck you. Right? That's what they're going to do. Right? And so the time to drain the swamp was 3.35, 3.75 years ago, when Trump had power and saw the corruption. He should have continued, but he did not. So now we are here. We witnessed a coup d'etat in the form of a rigged election, and Trump is now, everyone is lining up against him except the people, his people. So having said that, do you think, forget about what I think, what do you think? Do you think that the Trump tried and true, the people who supported Trump, are now going to rise up? They're going to get off the couch, and they're going to carry Trump to victory. Whatever they have to do, they're all going to openly carry and start shooting the joint up. Because anything short of that is folly. Right? Because the establishment is controlling the media, controlling the vote count, controlling the thought pattern, controlling foreign policy through the CIA, controlling the flow of information. And that's where you're at right now. So good luck in chasing down hundreds of millions of extra votes in Philadelphia, as Trump said, or clear rigging in Georgia, clear rigging in Nevada, Michigan, Wisconsin, same deal. Get off your ass, patriots. Get off your ass. Now's your time. Put your money where your mouth is. Don't come crying to me. Don't come sniffing up Conte's ass saying, "Oh, Conte's not do. You got to do more. You got to do more." Well, I did what I could do. I told you for years and years that election rigging is the principal flaw in this country, and that the people that are doing it is the deep state, as identified as the large banks and the oligarchs. And did people listen to me? Did people listen to people like me? Not really. Mainstream media listened. Certainly YouTube listened by banning me from saying it because I was speaking the truth. It's getting shut down, getting squelched, staying below the information flow. So that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at, man. Welcome to America. Welcome to America, my friends. Thank you all for joining me. Marcus Conte reporting on this beautiful sunny day. Don't lose track that it is still a beautiful time to be in the world. Let the healing light touch you. Feel the warmth. Feel the warmth. Feel the love in your heart. Don't be bitter. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Thank you, Bud Nevada, Pathfinder 12, Sassafras, Leap Year. Chris Milk, thank you. Thank you for being here. Flowers in her hair, Bob Ross, Greg Wright, and everybody else. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me hit the right button. So I mixed up my buttons here before I get cut off here. Peace out, everybody. Peace and love. Life goes on. Life will go on.